YouTubers, today we're going to talk about something that really has been ignored in the media for the last couple months. In about 2 weeks, we have the gubernatorial primary on both sides for the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Anybody with any kind of exposure or experience in New Jersey politics knows that the special interest rule and their favored candidate tends to prevail in the primary. The most important special interests, and traditionally the most powerful, with the exception of the last 7 years since Christie's been governor, is the NJEA, the New Jersey Educational Association. That's basically the state's largest union of public school teachers, and they spend more money on lobbying in state politics than any other entity. On the Republican side, there is no doubt that the NJEA would prefer to see Kim Guadagno secure the Republican nomination rather than Jack Ciattarelli. And the reason for that is obvious. Kim Guadagno is the establishment. The NJEA knows that she's not going to try and move the line forward on the elimination of teacher tenure, of the elimination of Abbott districts, of school vouchers, of increasing charter schools. She's going to maintain the status quo. Which, I'm not saying that they're thrilled with that, but that's a hell of a lot better than what Ciattarelli would do if he secured the nomination. Which is basically, he would do just the opposite of all of their goals. He would work against them, so to speak. He would eliminate teacher tenure outright. He would basically eliminate all of the Abbott districts in the state and transition to a charter school system in all of the major cities, which is actually, it's a lot more doable than what the far left wants to admit. But for all intents and purposes, and just talking about how the special interests are going to affect the Republican primary, there is no doubt that they would rather see Kim Guadagno secure the Republican nomination for governor rather than Jack Ciattarelli. I also think that the elephant in the room that nobody's talking about right now at this time is the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline. And there are two pipeline projects that are scheduled to run through New Jersey, the Dakota Pipeline and the Keystone Pipeline. And people conflate the two, but they're not the same project. One's for the Northeast Corridor and the other's a national pipeline. Now the problem becomes that one of the pipelines are slated to essentially run through New Jersey's lower third territory, which is the New Jersey Pine Barrens, and it's preserved territory under federal law. The Pinelands Commission, which regulates the New Jersey Pine Barrens, has given the green light for it to proceed, but that goes without saying that the next governor can very easily halt that project. And that's why basically all of the state's environmental interests, the Sierra Club, the NJCF, and others are doubling down on the Republican primary for governor. I think that Jack Ciattarelli is a lot more in bed with big business and with the oil industry than Kim Guadagno is. I think she's much more of an environmental moderate or pro-environmental. And I think that if she does secure the nomination and she does win the election, it's going to leave a lot of people in the oil industry quaking in their boots, so to speak, because they're not going to know what's going to happen. I mean, if for whatever reason another judicial action proceeds and it gets and the pipeline decision gets gets reversed outright or reversed and remanded back down to the Pinelands Commission, and at that time another governor's nominee sits on the New Jersey Pinelands Commission, well, that's a game changer. That's a game changer on a lot of levels. And that's why the special interests are donating as heavily as they are to this election. You can go to see basically the special interest donations to the NJELEC, which there's a public website for that, and you can also go to opensecrets.org. And I really hope that people are paying attention and people are realizing that the candidates on both sides are a little more than mouthpieces for big business and special interest in the state of New Jersey.